Had it for a couple months now, and I do recommend this scooter to everybody because the price is so good, and for what you get, it's a great value. Starting with the handlebars and display, the grips have a nice texture on here. They're not the widest in the world. I didn't really have an issue with it, but I know some people like to have wide grips on their scooters. Looking at the throttle feels really nice. It's easy to use with the thumb. It does come with a sticker on it that talks about cruise control. I complained that it didn't look that nice, and I didn't realize it was a sticker, but you can just peel that off, so make sure you peel that off. The brake, we have a normal traditional brake, which I prefer. I know scooters nowadays, some of them have the electric brake, which kind of read as a throttle, look like a throttle. I prefer this, so it's something to note. Then coming over here to this side, this is where you plug in your charger for the scooter. I really don't like this design. That's not a huge issue, but it's kind of just a little annoying. You can see to open. And then because it is so small, unless you're looking directly at it, you're opening at it, and you focus on putting in the battery, it can be a little annoying to put in the charger. Not a big deal, just something to note. The display is pretty simple and nice, which I like. It just shows your speed and battery, which I think is really all you need. You can see it flickering on the camera. It doesn't actually do this in real life, that's just the camera. And I've never had an issue with seeing it in any kind of sunlight or anything. Right now it's super bright out and I can see it pretty clearly. The Gotrax does come with a light in the front. I've noticed when I'm riding it either early in the morning or late at night, it's not that powerful. So I really just use it to notify other people that I'm on the road. So it's bright from their end, but for me, for illuminating the street and the trails, it doesn't really do much. Now moving down to the base of the scooter, I'm gonna talk about the folding mechanism. So this is not one of the best folding mechanisms I've ever seen. You have to pull this pin and then pull this lever to make it fold. And it's really awkward to do that, especially because you can't really do it when it's sitting on the kickstand like this because it won't fold all the way. So a lot of the time you take the kickstand off, which means you have to lean this up against you, then you pull this, then you pull that lever down, lean it against you and fold it down. So it's a whole big operation. It's not very natural. For me, I just stopped folding it. I just left it up because it was so frustrating to deal with. So not the best folding mechanism with the XR Elite. The deck of the scooter is super wide, which I really like. I never feel like I'm struggling for space. It's always easy to hop on it with both feet. And this is something you don't get with a lot of budget scooters. A lot of them have really narrow decks. So this is something that makes the Gotrax stand out. Also, the battery of the Gotrax is hosted in this deck, meaning it has a lot of weight down here, which helps for the stability of the ride. Last major thing to note feature-wise is the brake. So the brakes on this are really good. They stop you pretty quickly, but something to call out is that they're pretty loud. So when you're braking, it does make a lot of noise. People around can hear you braking, and you can hear that you're braking. So now talking about the overall ride of the scooter, it goes up to 15 miles per hour, and I've found that it consistently does this. The only hitch with the ride that I'll note is the cruise control kind of is wonky. So if you start to go anywhere that's kind of over 15 miles per hour, it'll slow you down to like 13, 14 and hold you there for a good 10 seconds, which doesn't sound like a long time, but if you're in the road or in someone's way, you can really feel that you're going slowly, and then you start going fast again. And that's the one qualm I have with the scooter, is that the acceleration and the consistency of your speed is a little off. Also, the scooter has air-filled tires, which helps absorb any shock, but it doesn't have any suspension that I know of. So the ride, it's not the bumpiest in the world, but you definitely do feel any cracks or bumps in the roads when you're riding it. The one thing that does help with this a little bit, because the battery is in the deck, you do feel pretty sturdy when you are kind of wobbling on the road if you're hitting any kind of issue on the trail or road that you're driving on. Overall, I bought this scooter for $330. I used some codes and coupons. Had it for a couple months now, and I do recommend this scooter to everybody because the price is so good, and for what you get, it's a great value because the deck is so large, the battery is great, the speeds are reasonable, and you don't really notice a lot of low-end options on this. Even though it is a budget scooter, it feels very quality. So again, do recommend the Gotrax XR Elite. Thanks for watching my review of the Gotrax XR Elite. If you found this information to be helpful, please give a like, and we'll see you next time.